A big storm since yesterday. Snowing yesterday all day from about 9 o'clock until very late last night. But of course, Timmy's is always open.
Good for you.
Good morning. Could I have a large coffee, double cream?
Good morning, large double cream. Anything else for you?
2 cheese tea biscuits, please.
Anything else?
That's it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Jonathan.
Freezing rain expected later on this morning.
Evening 0. Coming up at 8 o'clock, the City News Extreme Weather Center is open after a major overnight snowfall. School buses canceled across the GTA.
City News Time 7:54. With the money you'll save by switching your insurance to Bel Air Direct, you could. There's no more hot water. Finally, change your water heater. Switch and save on your car and home insurance. Visit BelAirDirect.com. Conditions apply.
Big Country's warehouse sale is this Saturday from 9 to 5 at 7920 Airport Road. Don't miss amazing prices on mattresses and bedding essentials. Flexi financing available. Plus, the first 25 people to purchase a Kingsdown mattress will get a free gift up to a $79 value. This Saturday only. This is City News 680. So we told you about the epic Wheel of Fortune fail. Now a local business is trying to make things right for that contestant, as we hear from our Jeff Rahoman.
Yeah, we all saw the clip, fresh tropical fruit. But did you notice the prize on the wheel when the contestant spun it? It's for a company called The Ants. Well, it turns out that's a Scarborough-based clothing line run by rapper Bishop Brigante, who wants to make things right with that contestant.
I reached out to Wheel of Fortune, let them know to get me in contact with the young lady so that we can send her a prize pack so she can find some kind of a silver lining in this viral moment where people are being disparaging or just laughing at the situation. I don't support bullying on any level.
Yeah, so he's sending out about $1,000 worth of clothing that's been worn by people like Cardinal, Method Man, and Maestro Fresh West. Jeff Rahoman, City News.
Still to come, cough and cold medication helps boost the bottom line at Shoppers Drug Mart in the latest quarter. We'll have the business report.
City News Time 7:56.
I couldn't sleep. At first, I thought it was my partner snoring, but then I talked to the pillow professors, and now I can't get out of bed.
We interrupt this commercial message to bring you another more important commercial message.
The RRSP contribution deadline is March 1st. Your local Edward Jones advisor is ready with active advice and guidance to make the most of your RRSP contribution and help you feel better about your money. Visit edwardjones.ca/feelgood.
We now return you to your regularly scheduled program.
The world is facing a global mental health crisis. That's why at CAMH, we stand together. We bring one another strength. We search for answers that don't yet exist. And if we can't find what we need, we build it. Because here, we don't believe in outsiders. Your donation will help to build our new Research and Discovery Center and a future where no one is left behind. Donate today. Visit camh.ca. Now the business report here is Mike Ethel.
Just looking over the earnings this morning, Catherine from Loblaw Companies Limited, and specifically how the grocery retailer is doing in the fourth quarter for sales, and perhaps more importantly for Loblaw's bottom line right now is what's going on at Shoppers Drug Mart, as that division for Loblaw Companies had a very strong sales growth performance. And really it shouldn't come as any surprise that in the fourth quarter, a lot of sales were found in the demand for cough and cold products, even if the store shelves were a little bit empty in some cases, and strength in the beauty and cosmetic categories. And also, this was kind of interesting too, that Loblaws discount grocery stores, no frills, outperformed the mainline Loblaws brand. Overall revenue was up nearly 10% for the quarter to $14 billion. Operating earnings at $1.72 was 4 cents above consensus. They're going to increase the stock buyback and also reinvest about $1.5 billion back into the company for its distribution centers. Loblaws share price indicated this morning up a little bit, pre-market at $117 per share. We have the Dow futures looking okay, up by 80 points. NASDAQ futures up 118, that's 1%. We'll get a GDP report out of the Commerce Department in the States this morning at 8:30. Gold is down $7 at $18.35. That is pretty much a 6-week low for the precious metal. Oil is up 80 cents at $74.73. This is City News.
Furnace on the fritz? Get it fixed fast. Enercare Home Services can get your heat going again with repairs done by a pro. And right now, for a limited time, get a furnace repair.
I guess I should have bought everybody Tim Hortons, huh?
savings. Getting your furnace fixed fast is good. Deal. Terms and conditions apply. Learn more at enercare.ca. That's enercare.ca. These might be the coldest days of the year, but this is the hottest sale of the year. On now at Aero Furniture, save the taxes on everything in store, or take up to 2 years to pay. Now's your chance to get the furniture you want at the best price. Save the taxes, or take up to 2 years to pay. For a limited time only at all 4 GTA locations. Conditions apply. Visit aerofurniture.com. That's aerofurniture.com.
Now, City News regional weather conditions for IKEA. Save more when you buy more with IKEA Family until February 28th. Offer valid in Ontario stores only. Other conditions apply. Visit your nearest IKEA for details. In downtown Toronto, it's cloudy -7. City News 680 is CFTR AM Toronto. It's 8 o'clock.
Toronto's #1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is City News 680. Everywhere. Thursday, February 23rd. Good morning. I'm Paul Cook.
I'm Catherine Jeté. Here are the top stories right now. Some schools in the GTA are closed, and for the rest, including Toronto, buses are canceled. The City News 680 Extreme Weather Center has all the fallout from this massive storm.
The mix of snow, ice pellets, and freezing rain is making for a difficult drive. I couldn't even get out of my driveway. Plows are out, but it will take time to clear away all the snow. Shoveling is snow fun this morning.
It's heavy. You have to do it in layers.
Clearing out the driveway and front steps is a chore as people begin the storm dig out. The 23-game stretch run begins.
The ramp to Elgin Mills was blocked off. The vehicle has gone into a snowbank. If you're there, could update us. It'd be appreciated. Free call star 680. From the traffic center, Craig Gear.
Great news. Southbound 400 ramp 2 Teston has actually reopened now, so all lanes reopened. You can access Teston off the South 400. Eastbound 403, they have taken an extra lane at this collision east of here, Ontario. They're blocking the HOV and the left lane now. It's really heavy in behind from approaching Mavis. South 410, a crash at the 407 is in the right lane, and that's slowing the drive too. Friday's Lotto Max jackpot is an estimated $50 million, plus an estimated 2 max millions. Buy tickets in-store or at olg.ca. Play responsibly, 18 plus. With the forecast, Jill Taylor.
A freezing drizzle advisory continues for us, and just keep in mind, freezing drizzle is so hard to detect on radar. So you may look at your radar app and say, hey, it's not that bad, but freezing drizzle it just doesn't show up, and it can be very sinister. So not good. We'll get into rising temperatures as we work through the day. Right now, feels like -14. Our guaranteed high this evening, 0. City News time 8:03.
Snow or so on the ground, freezing drizzle today. The GTA waking up to a winter reality check after days of dry pavement and above average temperatures.
School buses across the GTA have been canceled due to treacherous driving conditions. Our Jamie Pulver joins us live with the latest from the City News Extreme Weather Center. Jamie. Well, Catherine, the City News 680 Extreme Weather Center is brought to you by Subaru. Welcome to Uncommon Winter Capability. And we have school buses. They've been canceled across the GTA today. That includes Toronto. Schools are still open, while in Halton Region and Hamilton, schools are closed. Centennial College also closed today. along with all Mohawk College campuses. That full list is posted at toronto.citynews.ca. Freezing drizzle advisories replace the winter storm warnings for Toronto and the GTA, which can leave a sneaky layer of thin ice. Barbara Gray with Toronto Transportation says city crews are all over it when it comes to the cleanup.
We will continue to clear snow throughout the day and likely over the next few days. We expect the clearing operations will continue into the weekend because our crews and equipment are going to need to make multiple passes to clear the roads, sidewalks, and bike lanes during and after the snowfall.
Now, she says there's as much as 15 centimeters of snow and ice on the ground in the city. Wondering when your street will be plowed? She says go to Plow.to for the most up-to-date information. Go Transit running on a special schedule today that includes significant changes due to the weather. From the TTC, I'm seeing that Line 3 Scarborough, we have no service between Kennedy and McCowan. That's due to the weather conditions. Shuttle buses are running, and the long list of delays and cancellations continues at Pearson Airport. Reporting live, Jamie Pulfer, City News.
City News time 8:05. Anyone who has to drive today will find it takes a lot longer to get where you're going. Our Carl Hanske's talking to drivers about the state of the roads this morning after the overnight snowfall and joins us live from Vaughan. Carl.
All up here in Vaughan and around the GTA, vehicles are slipping and sliding thanks to the mix of snow, ice pellets, and freezing rain on the ground. For drivers like Neilson, it's been a challenging morning.
Getting out of my driveway today was terrible. Like, honestly, getting stuck, sliding everywhere, about, I don't know, a foot and a half of snow out there. It's terrible. Like, stay home if you can.
For drivers who can't stay home, like this guy commuting to Toronto from Caledon,
You just got to be careful, take your time.
the old saying, when there's snow, go slow. Everything gets better every hour as we go along, but it will take a while to clear the streets, especially side streets. Highways have been scraped, but still have slippery spots. The OPP tell me they've responded to about 200 crashes since the snow started falling. Reporting live up in Vaughan, Carl Hanske, City News.
City News time 8:06. Any kids planning on having a lazy day with school buses canceled could find themselves being handed the shovel this morning. As the GTA digs out from that significant overnight snowfall, our Kevin Meisner is watching the storm cleanup unfold and joins us live from East York. Kevin.
Yeah, Catherine, I hope people really dig shoveling because it's something they're going to have to do if they want to go anywhere today. Sarah here near Donlands and Cosburn in East York tells me when you clear away that top layer, that's not too bad. Then you get down to an icy compressed layer you have to chip away.
It's heavy. You have to do it in layers. I was out shoveling the front of the house this morning. It took me a little bit of time, but yeah, it's about 2 or 3 layers of skimming the top so you get to the bottom. And then get on in and pour a cup of coffee.
And over near Papin O'Connor, I found 9-year-old Dylan barely taller than his snow shovel, clearing away his driveway like it's no big deal.
I usually just wake up at like 6 o'clock and I just take my lunch for school and then I just come outside and just shovel snow. Because I like doing it and it's also a good workout and it helps my neighbors.
And his mom assures me he did this on his own. She did not have to ask Dylan to do that. Be careful if you're out walking this morning. The sidewalks are generally snow-covered, quite slippery, but the sidewalk plows are out and making the rounds. I have seen a few. Here in East York, Kevin Meisner, City News.
City News time 8:08. With inflation on the rise, the country's millennials are feeling the financial pressures of everyday life. Our Mike Eppel reports.
Canadians aged 18 to 34 are much less confident today about their financial future than they were a year ago. According to a new poll in from RBC, 18% of Canadians in that 18 to 34-year-old age group said they are confident in their financial future. Just 18%, down from 31% the same time last year. More than half said they weren't prepared for the impact of inflation, and more than 3/4 say they have concerns about their cash flow. Inflation in January was 5.9%, down from the mid-22 highs, but elevated food prices and rising interest rates, among other costs, weighed on Canadians' wallets. The poll found that young Canadian adults are now paying closer attention to their finances. A big worry, though, is if they're going too far into debt to cover the daily expenditures. The City News Business Center, I'm Mike Eppel.
City News time 8:09.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Falls View Casino.
Country heavy.
The multi-platinum, multi-award winner returns live in Niagara Falls at OLG Stage at Fall
up in 60 seconds. Traffic and weather together on the ones, including vehicles stuck on the westbound 401 approaching Kennedy.
City News time 8:09.
We might be living with inflation for a while, but overall, it seems to have settled into something more stable. So now is a good time to plan out and balance the rest of your life. Maybe there's something you'd like to get done. It's nice to know a flexi line from Capital Direct can let you do that. Could you use 80,000, 180,000, or even 1.8 million? Reach out to us. We're here to work for you before, during, and after you've set up your flexi line. Call Capital Direct today at 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL. Cozy is calling at McDonald's. Enjoy a medium McCafe premium roast hot or iced coffee for $1 plus tax. Brewed for a rich, smooth, and delicious taste. Get yours only for a limited time at participating McDonald's in Canada. Prices exclude delivery. There's a local place to get healthcare. Shoppers Drug Mart pharmacists can write prescriptions for minor ailments like UTI, allergies, and more. Book an appointment online at shoppersdrugmart.ca/minor illness or visit in store. Prescriptions only available at pharmacist discretion.
City News time 8:11.
Traffic and weather together on the ones, brought to you by Lastman's Bad Boy and the 680 Traffic Cruiser Jordan Kerr.
Westbound on the 401 is slow going in several spots because of problems. So first of all, the southbound Brock Road ramp to West 401 is closed because of the road conditions. Approaching Kennedy, the transfer to Collectors is closed because of an issue. It's backed up from McCowan towards Kennedy in the express lanes leading up to that transfer. On the express ramp to the northbound 404, the left lane's blocked up with a stalled vehicle. It's already jammed through here because of an issue on the northbound 404.
Can my employer change my hours of work on a whim?
False. They can to a very limited degree, but if that change has a substantial impact on your lifestyle, then it's a constructive dismissal allowing you to resign and sue. As well, if you have elder care or child care obligations, the employer has to accommodate them by giving you enough time to find alternate arrangements before changing your shift.
To contact Levitt Chi, visit levittllc.com. Employment law, Q&A.
From City News 680 and Howard Levitt. Toronto's news. Now, this is City News 680. Everywhere.
Cloudy, windy day for the GTA. Periods of freezing drizzle. City News guaranteed highs 0. Good morning. I'm Paul Cook.
I'm Catherine Jette. Here are the top stories right now.
It'll take you much longer to get to where you need to go today. Lots of snow to brush off the car. Lots of snow to shovel off the front steps. At least 15 centimeters, possibly more, depending on where you are. And you know how traffic goes when roads are snow covered, even though most of the major routes have been plowed. Winter storm warnings for the GTA have now given way to a freezing drizzle advisory, which could make for icy and slippery conditions. All schools, both public and Catholic, closed in Halton region. School buses canceled, both public and Catholic, in Toronto, York, Peel, and Durham regions, along with Dufferin County. The City News Extreme Weather Center is tracking all other delays, closures, cancellations at toronto.citynews.ca. And coming up after sports.
There was a 60% spike in violent incidents on the TTC last year in 2019, even with ridership still far below pre-pandemic levels.
Time now for sports.
From Sportsnet 590 The Fan, Simon Bennett.
Oh, yes, the Raptors are back. It's their first game since Valentine's Day as the league returns from the All-Star break tonight. Toronto currently 10th in the East, looking to move up over the final 23 games. The stretch begins tonight at home against the Pelicans, 7:30 on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Meanwhile, the men's national team already in the FIBA World Cup. They look to remain unbeaten in qualifying, 7:30 on Sportsnet 1. Last night on the ice, the Canadian women took Game 7 of the rivalry series against the USA.
City News time 8:19.
Reports of violence on the TTC apparently rose sharply last year. Our Alex Bloomfield has the story.
Over 1,000 reported violent incidents compared to a little over 650 in 2019, even as ridership in 2022 was less than two-thirds of pre-pandemic levels. The TTC says it's hoping ridership will reach three-quarters this year, but this violent trend may slow that recovery. In a statement to the Star, a transit agency spokesman said safety remains paramount to all we do, and the recent rise in serious incidents is why we're working closely with the city to deploy additional staff teams with expertise in addiction, mental health, housing, and security. Special police patrols were also created in January after a rash of violent attacks. The count only includes serious incidents reported to police, such as assault, sexual assault, robbery, and indecent exposure. Alex Bloomfield, City News.
City News time 8:20.
Book your New Jersey summer vacation. Get ready for sunshine vibes and waves of beach and boardwalk fun. Go for exciting destinations, entertaining nightlife, and outdoor adventures. Whether relaxing along 130 miles of Jersey Shore or climbing high in the Skyland. Create your New Jersey summer escape at visitnj.org/booknow.
People come to Canada for many reasons. No matter where they're from or why they're here, a warm Canadian welcome can make a difference. There are many ways to make a newcomer feel at home. A friendly greeting, an introduction to neighbors, or a simple offer of help getting settled into your community. Visit canada.ca/warm-welcome to find out how. Message brought to you by the Government of Canada.
City News Time 8:21.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by your local Ontario Subaru dealers. In the 680 traffic, cruiser Jordan Kerr.
Well, roads are getting a little bit better, at least on the highways, but still, watch out. It gets very icy in spots, so we've had people spinning out all over the place over the course of the morning. Now, on the westbound 401, there's no access from southbound Brock Road to West 401, all because of the road conditions. They've just closed it so no one crashes there. Approaching Kennedy, the transfer to the collectors is closed down because of an issue, so it's slow from McCowan to approaching Kennedy in the express. Again, that transfer is off limits. On the express ramp to the northbound 404, the left lane is blocked up with a stalled vehicle. It is hooked up to a tow, so it should be gone soon. It's heavy from Morden Express and collectors onto the 404 ramps. It's getting better and better. We had an issue on the northbound 404 north of the 401 that was really causing delays. It's gone. A westbound 401 then slow going from west of the 400 and the collectors to the Weston ramp, but we've received word from Toronto Transportation that the crash northbound Weston just north of the 401 has also been cleared away. It's backed up in the area approaching the 401 to north of it, so it should go back to normal soon. And then westbound 401, we have delays approaching Dixie to west of the 410. On the east 401, that issue east of Jamestown Parkway is gone. Now we just have delays through Dixie collectors, 427 to the 400, and through Keele and the collectors. From the traffic center, Craig Gear.
A couple of problems on the southbound 410, just off the phone with a traffic spotter who called in some metal debris just south of Queen in the HOV lane. Now this traffic spotter is saying this metal debris looks to be about the size of a small ladder. So could it be a small ladder? There's some good investigation. Southbound 410, we have a collision at the 407 in the right lane. Looks like a stalled transport truck as part of this as well. Need to get this hauled out. Heavy tow on scene. It's really heavy on the South 410 from approaching Sandalwood Parkway. Own winter with legendary standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. For uncommon award-winning safety, visit your Subaru dealer. With the forecast, Jill Taylor.
A cloudy, windy day for us, and heads up for the possibility of some freezing drizzle at times.
After ignoring your snow shovel for weeks, you'll be getting to know each other again this morning as the dig out begins. It's just a feeling. A new report confirms violent incidents on the city's transit system are on the rise, dramatically so. With OG, Trent Jr. and San all hoping to return the Raptors return the All-Star break against the Pelicans tonight. More down 45. Well, those top fourth quarter earnings estimates for both profit and sales, bolstered by no
14 are guaranteed dry actually this evening. 0.
City News Time 8:33.
Across the GTA are on their own when it comes to getting to school this morning, with bus cancellations in effect across the region after a significant overnight snowfall and now the risk of freezing drizzle.
The Extreme Weather Center's open. Our JD Pulver's here live with the latest on the conditions.
The snow in the top is rather fluffy, but once you get down underneath, you're going to run into a compressed layer of snow. That requires some heavy chipping away. In East York this morning, Kevin Lines, your City News.
City News Time 8:38. The forecast begins south surrounders. They're back from the All-Star break, looking to move up the standings. Stone Bay has a preview.
We haven't seen the Rams in their game action since Valentine's Day, but it gets busy again now. 23 games left. Almost a destiny. Only the last play-in spot. And John signals we make sure that we get in some form of fashion and then just get better. The preferable landing spot in April would be 6th in a playoff spot. Western don't play in. They're 4.5 games back to the next. Is it doable? Raiders Kevin O'Connor on Sports that they're quick to get that 7 or 8 seed in the plan, which would mean they only have to win 1 game to get into the postseason. So 6th, you would really need to make some public outstanding to get back to the LeBron James, OG Anunoby, Gary Trent Jr., and Zach Young all return to injury tonight. Game down against the Valley at 7:30. Someone Bennett, City News Time 8:39.
Texas Bay is bringing that photo on clear zone. Deal businesses on make oversized, demanded animals. Local quantity gas. This other world-class one. Buy one, get one free on items already reviewed. In store only at Texas Bay. Some exclusive supplies. There's a local place to get healthcare. Dr. Sherman pharmacists can write prescriptions for minor illness like UTI, allergies, and more. Book an appointment online at calvarsgovernment.ca/minor illness or visit your store. Prescriptions only available at pharmacy sessions. Georgetown on City News 680, a collision westbound 401 Express approaching Trinity will have traffic and weather together.
City News Time 8:40.
Outline credits where homeowners get approved. Hi, I need your vehicle recharges and I think consolidating my debt into one easy payment would really help. I'd like to...
Well, the U.S. economy was not growing as quickly or robustly as first forecast. The fourth quarter GDP update this morning showing an economic growth rate of 2.7%. That was 0.2% below forecast. Second reading on U.S. GDP. Big worry here that the U.S. economy is slowing even as inflation remains elevated and interest rates expect to go up. That's got the Dow futures and morning markets cooling off in the early teens. Right now, the Dow futures up by just 50 points. NASDAQ futures still up 102, primarily because of inflation. 8% plus gain pre-market on its earnings. The price for oil right now is up $1 at $74.96 per dollar at 73.83 cents U.S. This is City News. How can you minimize inflation risk? Step 1. Talk to a financial advisor. See why advice matters, now more than ever. Visit dynamic.ca/advice to learn more.
Still to come on City News 680.
You know who my favorite raptor is?
Pascal Shakim.
Yeah, a CNN broadcaster is going viral for not knowing a bunch of players.
City News Time 8:44. A good work partner knows what you need before you need it. That's how it feels when you work with Cintas. Your dedicated Cintas service reps get to know your business and have the industry knowledge that can help you prepare for what's ahead. They'll deliver your team's workwear freshly laundered, and they'll make sure your first aid and safety supplies, floor mats, mops, and towels are stocked when you need them. To learn more, visit Cintas.ca and get ready for the workday. Hi, Zach here from Speedy Glass. As windshield experts, we know that a small chip can quickly become a big crack. If your windshield is cracked, you need to replace it right away, and now is the best time to do so. For a limited time only, receive $25 gas gift card by replacing your windshield with one of our certified experts. We'll get you back on the road quickly and with an extra $25 in your pockets. Hurry, this offer ends March 3rd. Visit speedyglass.ca to book an appointment at the service center nearest you. Certain conditions apply. Details at speedyglass.ca.
a foot of snow overnight. School buses across the region are canceled, but schools are open everywhere except Holton and Hamilton. It's a slow go for the morning drive with snow still clogging up the roads and plowing crews hard at work. OPP have responded to some 200 crashes since the storm began. And still to come on City News 680, what new numbers reveal about growing violence on the TTC.
Time now for sports.
From Sportsnet 590 The Fan, here's Simon Bennett.
Well, tonight the Raptors start the first game in over a week. But off the All-Star break like everyone else, looking to climb back up from 10th in the East. And last playing spot over the final 23 games, it looks like OG Anunoby, Gary Trent Jr., and Ben Young all hope to return tonight against the Pelicans. Game time 7:30 at Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Meanwhile, 2 games left for the Canadian men's national team at World Cup qualifying. They're in the dance, still looking to finish unbeaten. They face Argentina 7:30 at Sportsnet 1. The rivalry series to Canada. The women's national team smashed the USA 5-0 to capture Game 7 last night in Laval. 2 goals from Blair Turnbull. Marie-Philippe Poulin scored as well. Jays continue full team workouts in Dunedin ahead of Saturday's spring opening. Round robin play wraps up with the Scotties Tournament of Hearts today, already in the playoffs. Unbeaten Team Canada, Carrie Anderson, along with Christina McCarville, Belmont Ontario, and Manitoba's Jennifer Jones. 3 more spots to be decided tonight. Ontario at 4-2, skipped by Rachel Holman with 2 matchups today. Sportsnet 15 and 45, that's every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca.
City News time 8:47.
Do you feel like your debt is out of control? You make payments month after month, yet your debt grows larger and larger. I'm Mike Chanday, a licensed insolvency trustee. I can help you break the chains of debt and be debt-free. Book a free consultation at chanday.ca. Chanday, C-H-A-N-D-E.
This is Raptors Superfan Nafadia, and I am proud to be a part of the first ever Raptors for Research 3-on-3 tournament. Sinai Health is partnering with your Raptors to raise money for life-changing research, and you are the players. On March 5th, teams will face off to change the game, save lives, and win prizes. For people, sign up and get ready at raptorsforresearch.com.
City News time 8:48. Reports of violence on the TTC are indeed on the rise. Our Alex Bloomfield has the story.
There were 1,068 reported violent incidents on the TTC last year, 300 more than each of the previous 2 years, and a 60% jump from the 2019 total, despite ridership not even being at 2/3 of the pre-pandemic level. The monthly report released by the TTC projects a rise to 75% of the 2019 ridership this year, leading to concern violence could also rise in kind. The incident count only tallies serious incidents reported to police. The figures come in the wake of a series of high-profile violent events on the TTC. Last month, the TTC said it would use an increase in funding in the 2023 budget to add 20 community safety ambassadors and 50 security guards throughout the system. And in January, police added roughly 80 officers to the system at any given time. Alex Bloomfield, City News.
Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather together. City News time 8:50. Searching online for questions about your health isn't always healthy. You'll look up something simple like, why do I keep getting eczema? And whoosh, you're hurtling through an internet rabbit hole. 6 hours later, you've poured through every single online message board dedicated to every skin condition that's ever existed. Or you could just talk to a pharmacist. Stop going down internet rabbit holes and start connecting to care. Visit ontario.ca/yourhealth to find pharmacists, nurses, and answers, and see all the ways we're helping you connect to care. Paid for by the Government of Ontario. Employers wanted. Are you an employer with immediate vacancies but need assistance to find and hire staff? Call the staffing experts. Achieve Employment Services can help you find, hire, and keep your staff. Get access to a full range of recruitment resources, including no-cost job postings and hiring incentives. Register online today at achev.ca/employer. That's achev.ca/employer. Coordinated by Achieve Employment Services and funded by Employment Ontario.
City News time, 8:51. Time for traffic and weather together on the ones for your local Ontario Subaru dealers. And here's Jordan Kerr.
Well, good news on the eastbound 401. The issue we had approaching Mavis and the Collectors is gone. It's a bit busy east of Mississauga Road and the Collectors towards Mavis, but it should get back to normal soon. The highways are certainly looking better, still slower than usual across the GTA. Westbound 401, there are delays right through Milton right now from the 407 to west of Highway 25. That's all because of the plows going through there. On the westbound 401, we have an ongoing issue approaching Kennedy. The transfer to the Collectors is closed, all because of an issue in the transfer itself. It's backed up from McCowan towards Kennedy in the express lane leading to that transfer. So if you need to get to the Collectors, you cannot take that transfer. Do so beforehand. Southbound 404 delays approaching Major Mackenzie to 16th Avenue. And from Shepherd onto the Don Valley down to Eglinton and northbound on the DVP. Slow going from Eglinton or north of Eglinton now up towards the 401. It's getting better and better on this route. From the traffic center, here's Craig Gear.
Problems on the northbound 410 at Sandalwood Parkway. The right lane's blocked with a collision and the rim to Sandalwood is also blocked now. Some debris to watch out for on the southbound 410.
Accept the change in writing. You will be seen to have accepted it. Finally, when your employer makes these changes, they're essentially terminating your employment and you're owed your full severance, as much as 24 months' pay. I can help you get the severance package you're owed. My team has helped tens of thousands of employees pursue the constructive dismissal cases when changes were made to their job. Before you accept any change or quit in protest, contact me and discover why my employment law firm is the most positively reduced firm in Canada.
Contact employment lawyer Lior Samfiru today. Get the advice you need and the compensation you deserve. Visit employmentlawyer.ca. That's employmentlawyer.ca.
Listen 3, 4, 5 times a day.
This is City News 680.
Everywhere.
Checking the regional weather conditions in Barrie this morning. Still getting some snow there. It's now -9. Over in Brampton, we've got a partly cloudy sky this morning, but it is very cold. -8. Burlington, mostly cloudy. It's -6. In Hamilton this morning, mostly cloudy and -6. In Vaughan, sunshine and -9. Right now in downtown Toronto, it's cloudy and -6. Wind chill -14. City News 680 is CFTR AM Toronto. It's 9 o'clock.
Toronto's #1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is City News 680. Everywhere.
Thursday, February 23rd. Good morning. I'm Paul Cook.
I'm Catherine Jeté. Here's what's making news right now.
Winter storm continued with freezing drizzle advisories for Toronto and the GTA. School buses are canceled. In Halton, schools are closed. But the City News 680 Extreme Weather Center is open.
If you are driving this morning, such as yeah, they're about 2 to 3 inches high. Be prepared to scrape and shovel and for your trip to take a whole lot longer.
Fluffy snow on top and icy compressed layer underneath. Many doing the dig out are discovering it's taking extra effort to clear those walks and driveways.
This just into City News 680. The Trudeau government says it has reached an agreement in principle with Queen's Park on health care.
The last time we saw the Raptors was Valentine's Day. They're back to the All-Star break tonight as they host the Pelicans at Scotiabank Arena. Sports at 15. No frills led the earnings growth at Loblaws in its fourth quarter. Sales up by almost 10%. The markets are up this morning on solid earnings coming from the computer chip space business at 26.
City News time 9:01.
Traffic and weather together on the ones brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, Oakville, and the 680 Traffic Cruiser Jordan Kerr.
Westbound 401 approaching Kennedy. The transfer to the Collectors is still closed down all because of an issue here. We had a stuck vehicle, a big truck it looks like. So crews are still there. Transfer still shut down. It's slow from McCowan in the express towards Kennedy. Then heavy through Milton. Delays through Trafalgar to west of Highway 25. We have plows operating through there. It looks like they're turning around now going eastbound on the 401, currently east of Highway 25. On the southbound 404, delays approaching Major Mackenzie to 16th Avenue. Then from Shepherd onto the Don Valley Parkway down to Eglinton. From the traffic center, Craig Gear.
Lots of plows out and about too. A couple of issues. Northbound 427 at Finch. The HOV lane's blocked with a vehicle that spun out. Fire trucks have arrived on scene, but it was southbound 427 where I was seeing a heavy delay thanks to plows between Rutherford all the way down to about Finch. Collision on the North 410 is in the process of clearing. Right now the ramp to Sandalwood remains closed here on the northbound 410. Meet your next ride, one of the 2022 Mercedes-Benz family of SUVs. Rates from 4.99% available. Mercedes-Benz Oakville, KBW at Dorval Drive or mboakville.ca. The forecast, Jill Taylor.
A freezing drizzle advisory continues. It will be on and off through the day. Strong gusty northeast wind as well. Right now, with that wind, dress for a wind chill closer to -14. Our guaranteed high will arrive this evening, 0. City News, time 9:02.
The extra big winter boots this morning when you walk out the door. We have significant snow on the ground and a day of weather-related delays and hassles ahead.
Our Jamie Pulfer joins us live from the City News Extreme Weather Center, tracking the fallout from this winter storm. Jamie. Yeah, Catherine, this City News 680 Extreme Weather Center is brought to you by Subaru. Welcome to Uncommon Winter Capability. And the school boards weren't taking any chances with this weather, canceling buses across the GTA, including Toronto this morning. Schools are still open. In Halton Region and Hamilton, though, schools were closed. All Mohawk College campuses are also closed today. Same story for Centennial College. Now, this heavy snow has tapered off, but the winter storm warnings have been replaced by freezing drizzle advisories. When it comes to the cleanup, Barbara Gray is the general manager of Toronto Transportation.
We've been very busy overnight, salting and plowing our roads, and that's going to continue throughout the day. We've actually had accumulation from the storm of about 10 to 15 centimeters across the city.
Nancy says road crews will continue to clear snow likely into the weekend. And for the most up-to-date information about when your street will be plowed, go to Plow.to. The TTC reporting major delays on some streetcar and bus routes due to the weather today. That includes King Street, Rogers Road, Forest Hill. Shuttle buses have also replaced subway service on Line 3 Scarborough between Kennedy and McCowan. Go Transit still running on that special schedule that includes significant changes due to the storm and hundreds of delays and cancellations at Pearson Airport. Reporting live at the Extreme Weather Center, Jamie Pulfer, City News.
City News time 9:04. So what exactly is the drive like this morning? Our coverage of the winter storm aftermath continues with our Carl Hansky talking with drivers in Vaughan.
For drivers up here in Vaughan and across the GTA, just getting to the highways can be a challenge this morning. Andrew lives in Caledon.
It was pretty bad. Couldn't even get out of my driveway. Got stuck. Had to shovel myself out.
He's not the only one. The wintry course of snow, ice pellets, and freezing rain has turned many a side street into a slalom course.
Cars were stuck already. Hopefully the plows can get out there quick.
The major routes are much better thanks to the snowplows making repeated passes, but OPP Sergeant Terry Schmidt says highways are still snow-covered and slippery in spots.
Please be careful out there. Please drive safe.
OPP have responded to about 200 crashes since the storm began. It seems a lot of commuters have heeded the advice and stayed home. Up in Vaughan, Carl Hansky, City News.
City News time 9:05. Well, whether it's before work or in between Zoom calls or when you finally get home from the office, you've got some shoveling to do. Our Kevin Meisner's in East York as the GTA digs out from a significant snowfall.
Clearing the driveway in the front will take a multi-layered approach. This snow is fluffy on top, but underneath the shovel rams into an icy compressed layer. Dimage here near Pape and Mortimer is already exhausted.
Boy, I don't want to be out here shoveling snow. For him, we live in Canada.
A few blocks over, it's a smoother process for Solomon because he got a head start on his big dig.
Very easy. But I don't know how tonight, right? Much easier today.
Even 9-year-old Dylan, working on the sidewalks after clearing his driveway, is starting to fatigue.
I would say that I'm a bit tired.
Think you'll be able to get this done fairly soon?
Probably. And if I can't get done this morning, I'll come back outside after school and do it.
The most popular person in the neighborhood? The homeowner willing to share their snowblower. In East York, Kevin Meisner, City News.
City News time 9:06. Breaking news from Ottawa this morning where the Trudeau government says it has reached a deal with Queen's Park on health care. Our Alex Bloomfield's here live with the latest. Alex.
Yeah, Paul, that's about all that we know at this point, is that an agreement in principle has been reached between the province and the federal government on health care funding. Essentially, the first province to reach a deal with the federal government, as there have been ongoing negotiations for really the better part of a year now, months certainly. The federal government came out with this proposal a few weeks ago, saying that they will put $196 billion in health care money to the provinces and territories over the next 10 years, but that was across the board, sort of a national agreement that now needs to be worked out province by province how that is distributed. Ontario said it was very close to a deal. They were the first to sit down with federal negotiators a couple weeks ago. The main thing that the Ford government was pushing for was greater certainty on the terms and how long this funding would last. The increase in funding that essentially raises the federal percentage of health care funding from 22 to 24%, even though the provinces have been pushing for 35, but the Ford government wanted longer term than just the 10 years attached to this money. We'll learn more of these details certainly in the coming minutes. Reporting live, Alex Bloomfield, City News.
City News Time 9:08. The Trudeau government was unapologetic in the early days of the pandemic about the amount of cash it was sending out to keep businesses afloat during COVID lockdowns. Well, it turns out many of the wage subsidies went to businesses that owed money to Ottawa, and some were insolvent. Our Mike Apple reports.
The Globe and Mail reports the federal government paid $37.5 billion in pandemic wage subsidies to businesses with tax debts. And about $1 billion of that went to companies that were insolvent, raising new concerns about the level of screening used to determine payouts for the Canada Emergency Wage Subsidy. That so-called CEWS program totaled just over $100 billion in government assistance paid directly to employers that saw their revenues dry up due to COVID lockdown restrictions, but keeping employees on the payroll. The numbers were provided to the Globe from the House of Commons Public Accounts Committee, which is reviewing the Auditor General's December report into pandemic benefits. Then Finance Minister Bill Morneau, who led the government launch of the wage subsidy program, revealed in a recent book that his concerns about the cost of pandemic benefits were routinely overruled by the Prime Minister's office based on political calculations. At the City News Business Center, I'm Mike Apple. City News Time 9:09. This portion of the news is brought to you by AGMRenovations.com. Ignoring a problem means ignoring the solution to that problem. Is that a good thing? Problem is, your work-from-home setup is a mess. So why don't you do something about it? ATM can turn your basement into a home office from just $800 a month. Imagine how much more productive you're going to be when you have your own space. Do it! Call now and save $5,000.
Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather together on the ones, including westbound 401 transfer to collectors approaching Kennedy, blocked with a stuck vehicle.
City News Time 9:10.
Mix and Match at Sleep Country is back, where we'll match you to the right mix of products no matter your sleep style. So whether you're a toasty sleeper, a sprawler, or a mix of everything in between, our sleep experts can help you find the sleep essentials you need. And now, for a limited time, get a hot buy on a queen mattress for only $4.99. Its cool gel quilt helps whip away moisture and regulate body temperature so you can get more deep sleep. Only at Sleep Country. Sleep well, stay well. Sleep Country.
No way! Are you kidding me? Get me that vacay. We love a deal as much as the next person. But this is something different. We're experts at getting you that.
Hey!
We couldn't think you could score. And with deals on the destinations you've always wanted to visit, it's a no-brainer. Let's make your dream getaway happen. In store with 6 locations in the GTA, online, or just give us a call. City News Time 9:11.
Traffic and weather together on the ones in the 680 traffic cruiser Jordan Kerr.
On westbound on the 401 on the ramp to Markham Road in the center lane, there's a stalled vehicle. Crews are on scene. They are working on getting this out of there over here on scene, trying to push the car out of the way. It's right at the end of the ramp, so they're trying to get it onto Markham Road itself, so it's out of the way, or at least off to the side. So just watch out for crews operating around there. Again, that's westbound on the 401 at the end of the ramp to Markham Road. Then after that, we have a closure of a transfer. Westbound 401 approaching Kennedy. The transfer to the collectors shut down still. It's been that way since just after 7, all because of a stuck vehicle there. A big truck, it looks like. It backed up from McAllen towards Kennedy in the express lanes leading up to that transfer. And then we have delays from Jamestown Parkway to west of Highway 25. We have plows going through here. It looks like they're done, but delay remains. On the eastbound 401, a slowdown through Highway 25, and then plow-related slowdowns from Jamestown to the 407. Southbound 404 DVP delays through Major Mackenzie to 16.